Hello, lovely people. It's been a while. I've been quite busy adulting and have been acclimating to my new schedule. I hope to get into a good routine in which I can get back into getting videos done and loaded on my channel at a more consistent pace. Aside from that, I thought to add a face to the voice. I don't like to be on camera, so you're getting a rough caricature of me. It's a bit on the younger side, but this is the best I can get out of AI, which also decided I like wearing gold jewelry. This is also an introduction to a new format where I'll be saving all my commentaries and lore theory until the end to get through the videos a little faster. So, to recap the last playthrough, Rogue and friends were able to steal back the supplies meant for the crows from the Antom and discovered that the ancient elves weren't the only ones who liked puzzles. We were able to figure out how to get into the vault inside the Grey Warden Fortress and learned that a Canary joined the League of Wardens, which I suspect was during the Exalted Age. Now it's time to recruit our Fade expert. Let's go, let's play.
This is it. But no sign of the professor.
I hope he's here and that he doesn't mind us disturbing him. He is a senior necromancer. I don't... Oh!
Visitors! What a marvelous surprise! Any trouble with the lift? Our last guests were stuck for hours, poor souls. Oh. Professor Emmerich Volkaren of the Morn Watch.
Hello, Professor. We've never met, well, in person, but I've been writing to you.
Belara, my dear girl, what a pleasure. Surely you didn't come all this way just to see me.
Actually, we did. You see, we need a Fade expert.
I'm Rook.
Charmed.
I like that bit with the flaming skull.
It's nothing, really. Just an evocation of the flame of the last steps.
Looks great.
Thank you. You know, I'm never quite sure how these spells strike someone from outside Navarra. I'd be pleased to continue our conversation after I tend to some small business here. I must investigate. Would you two mind accompanying me further into the shrouded halls?
Toward that screaming.
Something's gone awry in this part of the necropolis, Rook. The dead stir more easily than they should.
Oh, wow. I've never seen anything like this. Are these warts?
Indeed they are. But what's caused the aphotic needles to fall into a slumber?
Oh, I'm pretty handy with artifacts. I can take a look.
That would be good of you, Belara. Your friends and I will press on.
Right, Professor. Good luck.
Something's moving. Up ahead.
Strange. These halls should be under the protection of the bell.
Is that a despair demon?
Fascinating, isn't it? They shouldn't be able to breach the shrouded halls at all.
Take your word for it.
Well,
It's vital we discover why that spirit manifested here.
Lead the way, Professor.
Someone's barred the door and chained the sunken star.
There's undead here.
We may need to defend ourselves depending on their condition.
Haven't fought undead in a while.
There's no reaching these. They're mindless.
so you can't control them.
I'm afraid sometimes the weaker dead work themselves into frenzies.
Poor things.
Well aimed!
That's one for us.
To your right! I must free that bell.
Need some help?
Thank you. The star, the bell, can banish these despair spirits if we unchain it. We'll need a wisp to unseal the doors leading out. Could you please find one and bring it here?
Okay. How?
Give your greetings, and the wisp will follow.
Hello.
Ah, Wisps are the simplest of spirits, but quite helpful. Bring the wisp here, and we can unseal the doors.
Doors open. Where to now?
This should lead us to the upper chambers, where we can free the bell. There's someone I'd like to consult with on the way.
So, Professor,
Just Emmerich, please.
you weren't that surprised we need a Fade expert.
The spirits talk. Even the simplest have been clamoring about chaos in the Fade. Someone coming to consult wasn't an if, so much as a when. We're not alone. Well struck! Nev struck a hit!
Got things ready.
We have them now!
Got through that. chilly in here. Courtesy of a demon.
Echoes of the despair spirits, misery devouring itself. We should keep our distance. If provoked, these manifestations will shatter.
Need a wisp. Can't do this without a wisp.
can't get along. We'll see who ends this. go.
Nev has them now! Good work!
Time for a fight!
Have at them! Into the fray!
Eyes open.
Wonderfully done, Nev!
Here we go.
I spy trouble ahead.
Rook takes credit there.
A solid hit! It's a fight then!
And Rook takes that.
This is locked too. I didn't see any wisps around.
Then I shall call for aid. They've answered. We'll need to guide the wisps who've just arrived to the door.
Those wisps really came just because you asked.
They care for us, Rook. Our ever-loyal friends amongst the dead.
Here's our second wisp.
At least they don't follow us around without asking.
Would you like them to accompany us?
I'm good.
There's the last wisp.
Good. Let's return to the door. Well done. Past these chambers, we'll find some assistance with reaching the bell. Despair is far more pervasive than I'd thought. We must stop who's ever drawing these spirits here, Rook.
You think a person's behind all the despair demons?
Oh yes. Mortals are their prime attraction.
Got us at range. Watch it.
At them! We're taking fire! We've a fight ahead.
Rook gets that one.
We've company.
Nice move, Emmerich.
We're under fire!
Ready if you are.
A solid blow! This should unseal our final pass to the bell. It's best we unchain it quickly.
Right. Then what?
The sunken star will drive away despair. Any malicious spirit that hears the tolling of the bell will be banished to the Fade.
Handy. Could use a few of those for back home.
I understood Tevinter to be experienced in dealing with malign manifestations.
Oh, we are. You have to be when blood magic attracts them. Or some cultist decides to summon something on purpose. I'll take any help I can get.
Excellent. Approach the body and we'll begin. By seal and flame, who brought despair in our midst? Despair? Who brought it here?
Venatori.
The Venatori. Of course. This way, please.
What did you just do?
The colloquial term is corpse whispering, a gift that manifested with my magic.
Well, there's some luck for you.
Honestly, I've no idea how the other Watchers navigate the necropolis without it.
Shh. I think I hear someone.
This map is useless. We wasted 3 slaves in those traps. If that Hand of Glory burns down...
So don't dawdle.
We found those Venatori.
They have no place in these halls.
This and destroy!
An excellent strike, then!
Got you covered.
What are the Venatori after? Gold? Artifacts?
Raw magic. Their first envoys were obsessed with gathering power for some new masters.
Ah, I'll fill you in on them later.
A despair spirit! Tread lightly.
Die for failing!
Well, down one more despair demon. That's the last of them.
I see someone by the crates.
I don't think they're Venatori. Hello. Did the Venatori bring you here?
They said I'd spilled the wine too many times. That I'd be a better sacrifice than slave.
You are in Navarra, sir. There are no slaves on our soil. Please remain here. After we've seen to the rest of the Venatori, I'll send for someone to escort you above.
All right.
Those Venatori dragged that man down here just to die.
The Watchers will shelter him. We'll inquire if he has any family in Minrathous.
Might know someone who can help with that.
Do you, madam? We'd be grateful. As for the Venatori, what remains of them will be put to work.
What's this?
A vessel to store the magic the Venatori intended to siphon away from us. The Sunken Star can help us if we break the Venatori's chains.
Right. There's one chain.
Excellent.
Kill them all, but save the lit.
Got it.
I command war!
Strike them down!
Get ready.
There.
We've got company.
That's the last chain.
We must return to the lower level to ring the bell. Be ready. The ritual to wake the bell will draw Despair's attention.
And any more Venatori?
I'll need you to keep them occupied while I work.
There's the Venatori.
Heretics perish!
Wonderfully done, Nev!
Death is weakness!
The Venatori brought demons.
Typical of them.
How are we doing, Emmerich?
The bell is slowly wakening, but we must fight a little longer.
We've got a rage demon.
Hold fast.
My job's done. Your turn.
I hear a despair spirit. Well done, Nev! Good work! We're halfway there.
To the left.
Well struck!
I've got the setup to do the rest.
Nev struck.
Come. Give me a minute.
Emmerich, now what?
Now, the grand necropolis shows itself.
Well, look at that. No more despair demons.
Pretty impressive.
Thank you, but come, let's ensure these cultists didn't leave anything dangerous behind. I'll ask our attendants to gather their bodies later, of course.
And this is a severed hand.
It can't be. A hand of glory? The Venatori should never have this. I must find out where it came from. Let me know when you'd like to return to the chambers above.
Let's get back to the lighthouse.
You can tell me why you've sought out a Fade expert on the way?
I know it's a lot, but I swear we've seen the blighted elven gods ourselves.
It would explain recent Oniric disruptions.
At the least. The implications of what Rook's witnessed are... Ah, thank you, Manfred.
No one ever brings me tea after I slog through a haunted crypt.
My assistant, Manfred. Always thoughtful.
You spoke of danger to the Fade.
The elven gods plan to tear it wide open to get to the blight. And they've already messed with it. Demons, tears in reality. Our team needs a Fade expert.
Many Watchers never depart Navara. But with events so dire...
I'd be delighted to assist.
It has been many years since you left us.
Well, yes, but elven gods, ancient magics. I couldn't bear miss this. Besides, I've spent my life exploring the Fade and speaking to spirits. If Rook needs an expert, none are better qualified than I.
Only if your assistant's coming.
Manfred? But of course.
Welcome aboard.
Wonderful. I'll gather my things. Come, Manfred.
The Grand Necropolis was at peace again, and Emmerich was off to a new adventure. But in Navara, nothing stays down for long. The Venatori had unearthed something no one should have, and delivered it to the worst possible person. Emmerich's journey would soon bring him face to face with the gloaming lantern.
What the Venatori ultimately intended with their incursions into the necropolis worries me. Whether or not it was directed by the gods, the timing serves them well. Chaos, I fear, is their ally.
With this, Demeter's Crossing and the Blighted Dragons, and everything else we're all dealing with, feels like we're at war. A lot of little wars.
Didn't take the gods long to attract support from all the worst people in Thedas.
They're offering power to anyone who wants it. The Venatori and Antam won't question what it will cost.
So how do we fight back then?
We don't have an army, but we do have allies. Like the Veil Jumpers.
After Demeter's Crossing, it's personal for them.
The Shadow Dragons, particularly after we helped save their city.
A debt the Viper will repay soon.
Also, Lady Morrigan requested a meeting at the Cobbled Swan in Minrathous.
Could she have found some trace of the gods?
Probably. Morrigan doesn't visit crowded taverns for fun.
I also heard from Grey Wardens out in the Hossberg wetlands, Antoine and Evka. Something strange is happening with the Blight there. I bet it involves the gods.
Any details on the blight in the wetlands?
Antoine said he didn't write it down.
Why not?
Either he didn't trust someone else wouldn't read the note, or he didn't want us to panic.
Gillenane has laid low since we hurt her dragon, but the blight spreads rot wherever the gods go.
And no one's better at tracking blight than wardens.
Morrigan and those wardens feel like our best leads on finding the gods.
Are they really gods? Or just ancient mages? It's not clear.
They're gods. In their power and wrath, at least.
Lucanus, you're back.
I am.
Good to have you back. This is Professor Emmerich Volkarin, our Fade expert, and Tash, our dragon hunter. They joined while you were away.
Hey.
Charmed.
Right. Not everyone has met. So, a dragon hunter. Treviso could have used you.
What's happening there?
It's just... people blame you for what happened to Treviso, Rook. But they did not have to make that choice, knowing what the gods are capable of. There was no recall. Still, it changes things. How could it not?
But you're back with us.
Yes, here to stay.
Given how things have gone, I wouldn't blame you for staying away. So thanks. We can't do this without you.
After what they did to Treviso, I want these gods to fall. I don't see anyone else with a better chance than you. My blade's yours, until the end.
Great. Let's follow up on some leads.
I'll let Lady Morrigan know we're ready to meet.
I'll send word to Antoine and Evka. They're holed up in a town called Lavendel.
Everyone else should rest up. Be ready to move when I call.
Never easy, is it, kid?
What do you mean?
Making the big choices, then living with the consequences.
Feels like stopping two gods isn't the kind of thing that should get handed to a fresh leader. Though, someone needs to be in charge, right? Everyone's looking to me for answers. I have to be ready to give them, even when I'm not certain.
And that's why I recruited you, Rook. I knew you could fill my shoes. Anyway, you've got a meeting with Morrigan to attend, and dealing with whatever the Wardens found. All this chatting has taken it out of me. Think I'll rest for a bit. Good work, Rook. You'll find your way through this. I know it.
A third edition of the Unnameable Elements? I didn't even know it had editions.
Oh, it's much improved with the index. Please, borrow it if you'd like.
I'd love to. Oh, Rook, you probably wanted to say hi. Thanks, Professor.
You look moved in?
Just a few essentials. Manfred was a great help with the boxes. What a fascinating place this lighthouse is. What do you make of it?
I should take you to some of the weirder places I've discovered with the Veil Jumpers.
Would you? Belara's tales of Arlathan have been astonishing.
I'll bet. The wonders she could show you.
Oh, Belara's been very welcoming, but I noticed a few of the others taken aback by Manfred, and I overheard remarks about my skulls. My necromancy won't cause any undue worry, will it?
We're still getting used to one another.
True. And yet...
Give it time. We'll settle in.
Please excuse me. Manfred and I should finish our inventory. Thank you for stopping by. By the way, Rook, before I left, Myrna and Veilguard asked if we could assist with an outbreak of hauntings across Thedas. They also mentioned displaced wisps in the necropolis. I'm not sure what's frightened them, but it bears investigation.
Hauntings and scared wisps? Let's look into it.
Thank you. We'll depart for the necropolis whenever you're ready.
You know, Rook, every time I think I've got a handle on how weird magic is, it just gets weirder.
voices, many wanderers. Life returns to the lighthouse. Abundance. Rook, not now. Please.
Taking a walk?
No one said saving the world would be easy. Just wish it were easier.
Look at all those green leaves. You've really brought this place to life.
Amazing what a little weeding and water can do. They're growing so fast, too, even the ones I haven't tended. Maybe they just needed someone to remind them?
I'll talk with the Shadow Dragons, if there's anything we can do for Treviso.
Dweller, a helper waits within. Another helper waits between the facing gods.
Can't do this without a wisp. Dweller, it is whole, restored.
All right, I got so much to say. Ever since I learned about the Navarra nation from Cassandra Pentacast in Inquisition, and then read the short stories The Flame Eternal and Down Among the Dead Men, which were both written by Sylvia Fekete, I've been wanting to experience the Necropolis, and I have to say that BioWare did not disappoint. The grittiness of the atmosphere, the airy environmental design, and color palette were all suited for the Underdark. The mounds of gravel and dirt tells me that the necropolis is still expanding to accommodate more of the deceased. Unfortunately, I used my shield throw instead of running to do the hack and slash that I didn't get a good look at the Despair Demon at the start of the Shroud of Hells. From afar though, it looks like any other demons with its bellowy, torn sheet of licorice draping around its neon veins. The only element kept between the Despair Demon and Inquisition and the redesigned version of it in Veilguard is its hunchback, and I assume the dead bodies were sacrifices to raise the demon. Not a strong one, however. The memento that we find called the Ancient Illustration has an interesting description. The illustrations are stylized symbols representing the forking of thought, consciousness, will, finality, and time. All favorite subjects of the Navarra's greatest necromancer philosophers. And then the game file provided another short comment for the memento which said, "Paths toward a darkening throne." The forking of thought, consciousness, will, finality, and time comes across as what Harding has been saying when she reconnected with the Ancients, aka Titans. There's a collective feeling and thoughts between her and the Titans. In other words, it's the re-establishment of the hive minds upon awakening the Ancients by Harding, just like what Dagna experienced in Inquisition when she stared into the Larian rune and responded with how she, quote, felt mountain tall, moving as if around all her people, unquote. Their combined thoughts constituting her thought-like parts. Harding didn't fall with the dagger in hand, but she had a moment with it that triggered the connection. I'm also reminded of the whisper in Red Larium our Inquisitor found after opening a rift into the Fade as they were falling from a collapsed bridge at Adamant Fortress. It said, "We are here, we have waited, we have slept, we are sundered, we are crippled, we are polluted, we endure, we wait. We have found the dreams again, we will awaken." Then, what about these paths toward a darkening throne? It's a potential reference to the Dark City that held the Blight. Do these paths converge or lead to the gate of the Dark City, or are they paths to the Evaneris' prisons? The mention of paths were written as riddles on ancient elven stone slabs found throughout Thedas in the Trespasser DLC. The riddles are part of the Lateral Thinker puzzle. The Dread Wolf keeps his gaze on the one light that illuminates the way forward. Where the Dread Wolf's gaze glazes, paths are brought to light. When the Dread Wolf's gaze is bright, light burns in the ring of the dead. One sees the hunter, one flees from it, one hunts it in turn, one outwits them all. Now, I noticed that Emmerich asked Rook to get a wisp to open the gate, and Rook's response to him was, like how? That response would make more sense if Rook's faction was with the Mornwatch and his starting area was in the Necropolis, but Veilguard wasn't designed like Dragon Age Origins, and Rook would have learned how to use wisps on door openers early on. Therefore, there's a slight continuity issue with that reply. It's a small detail that won't break my illusion or fun, it's just off. I did enjoy the battle in the Cascade with the magical floating ice spheres you have to dodge or get blown up if it taps you. I see that the Risen Mages were wearing Lords of Fortune outfits. I thought they don't rob ancestral tomes, but I guess the Necropolis is a fair game. If it's up to Tosh, they may have something to say about that. There's a missed opportunity for Rook to tell Emmerich that the Venatories were the ones behind the bell tampering, especially my PC's familiarity of those Red Larium crystal barriers to be the Venatories' work, but Rook stays silent about it, forcing Emmerich to find out for himself. Even if Rook don't know how the chains were created to tie down the Sunken Star Bell, telling Emmerich that the Venatorium might be in the crypt won't diminish Emmerich's deductive reasoning, especially when he has dealt with the cult before. Although it would have meant that there was no need for the scene to Spirit Whisper. Personally, I'd much rather have the logic of the narrative play out than have a scene to only introduce a character's quirk or skill, but that's me. I'm happy to have Nev along because it's their commonality of spirits and demons that's creating a certain dynamic in her conversation with Emmerich. If you've been following my playthrough for a while, I think you see that I have a tendency to pick up sparklies first before doing anything else. I don't know if I developed this habit when I was playing World of Warcraft, but I do the same damn thing in every game I play. The battle against the despair and rage demons while dodging the floating ice spheres in the hollow belfry was really fun. I was getting a little concerned if I would get motion sick, but I didn't, and likely because I have a wide view of the chamber, unlike running through the narrow, twisting corridors within the Grey Warden Fortress and Ravine. Too bad the corpse of the rage demon evaporated before I can examine it, but I did catch a glimpse of it when it was near me, and it looks like a big, emaciated gremlin. Does it look like a gremlin to you? So during the group chat about the Evaneras to the bosses, which I can't remember their names for the life of me, Emrich's enthusiasm to join Rogue's team sounds so much like Baleria's reaction whenever she discovers ancient elven tech. Emrich and Balera are both nerds in their own fields, so it'll be quite intriguing to see if they will hook up. I missed the explanation as to why the dev named Manfred, but meeting him made me pretty giddy. He does the baby talk and is too cute. So the list of antagonists is growing longer with the addition of the glowing lantern, who was likely the one that let in the Venatori into the necropolis. That's probably the reason why none of the Morn Watchers knew and warned the others about the cult being there. I'm very relieved Lucan has returned to us, but it's sad to see that he has gotten a bit reserved. I feel the strain in the relationship. It'll be interesting to find what skill my rook lost for not choosing to save Treviso, but what's important to me is to build back the relationship Rook had with him before the big turning point, if that's even possible. For anyone who has played through the entire game would likely have a reason for this, but I'm getting a vibe that there's something weird with Varric, as if no one is paying attention to him except for Rook, and Rook just repeats what Varric said in his own ways, instead of the group responding back to Varric directly. The group usually looks at whoever is talking, but no one really looks at Varric. I caught the oddness the last time the group gathered in a mess hall to discuss the need of a dragon slayer and a fade expert, so I'll be keeping an eye on this interaction. I'm really liking the gradual change to the lighthouse with every move in. I've noticed that Balera has stuffed her room with mirrors and to capacity, and is tinkering with some sort of music box trunking thing. It could be a frequency dialer or tuning device, which I'm hoping to see it in action. Fixing the Nadas Therthaland seemed to have been brushed aside, so I hope it'll be brought back into the narrative. Harding's Green Thumb did the most change to the entire place. The lighthouse looks so vibrant and alive now, not just with her own private chamber. I'm forgetting which video it was where I spoke about the suspended spinning ornament above the coffee table in the meeting room called the astrolabe or armillary sphere. You'll come across a lot of astrolabe in Dragon Age Origins and Inquisition. I just didn't realize the one in the lighthouse was broken or in a different form until the glowing blue elven artifact zapped it with its fade green beam to transform the stone rings into what appears to be steel rings, and I counted that there's 5 of them circling the center globe. I feel there's some meaning or significance to the transformation relating to how the association or dynamic between the Titans and the cosmos were altered by the ancient elves through the magic of the Fade and its technology. Creating this scene as a mechanism to also upgrade the Caretaker Workshop further illustrates the manufactured relationship between the ancient elves and the cosmos, but I'll need more supporting narrative to speak to this theory of mine. Well, I'm pretty much ready to return to Moonrathis to meet Morrigan at the Cobble Swan to see what she needs. Until then, stay chill and see you next time.